schedule with Game 1 coming up on Thursday. Sunday, Game 2 back here at Oracle Arena as well. And, of course, NBA TV will have you covered at each and every finals game, pre- and post-game, as long as it lasts. Well, if you've been watching the playoffs, or for that matter the NBA the last few years, you know that everybody is looking for switchable defenders, like-sized players who can move from one offensive player to another. It's all the rage, and it's been all over the postseason so far. 3D and Zeke hit the floor here at Oracle to explain how it works and how it'll factor into the finals.
All right, Matt, thanks. Isiah, we're going to break down for the fans that the NBA right now is doing a lot of switching.
Yes.
But we have to teach them you have to switch with a purpose.
Yes.
Some teams like to trap, some teams like to force it down, some teams like to get into and get over. But most NBA players, most NBA teams are switching. We're going to show them how to switch the right way.
Yes. And we got two people who are going to help us. We got Kevin Tuttrell, we got Lee from the starters.
All right.
Give him a hand. Come on in, fellas.
Come on in. Oh, he's stretching out and everything.
Lee ready. You know the starter's always ready. But let's get into this, right? And we'll do it with side pick and roll first. So, Kevin, you got the ball in 3D. We on defense.
Okay.
Now, let's talk about we'll give you 3 ways how people defend pick and roll. We won't go into the variety of 6, 7 ways. So, one of the ways that they'll defend pick and roll is, right, they'll hedge, right? We'll get a hedge here. Okay, fight over 3D, fight over, stop, you catch back up, I get back to my man. Let's just call a simple hedge, all right?
Yep.
Now, the second way you can defend it, right? If it's not a good shooter, teams will do this. They can open through, okay, and now everybody stay attached to their man, okay? Now, the third way is what we're seeing a lot, and that is when teams switch. So teams are switching now, right? You'll slide here, okay, and now we got the switch. We got the mismatch there. We got the mismatch here. Okay, now, the proper way to switch, if you're going to play inside screen and roll and you want to keep people out on the perimeter and you don't want to let the roller roll to the basket, we come shoulder to shoulder, switch, so there's no split here. Okay? 3D can keep his man out. I can step up, and now I got my man, and we keep everybody out on the perimeter. Now, here's the problem. The smart players like Durant, like LeBron James, they have figured out that most of the NBA does what? Switch. So now that offensive player gets to dictate who guards him offensively. So let's say this is Steph Curry, right? Okay? No, I'm Steph Curry.
You're Steph. I'm Durant. Yeah.
I'm Steph Curry. All right?
You're Steph.
Now,
I'm
Steph
Durant.
Curry.
That's LeBron James.
That's LeBron. Now, what LeBron will do is say, okay, whoever is guarding Steph Curry, he will say, come over and set a screen for me. And since we switch, right, we got to slip, and now LeBron has the smaller player on him. He backs him down, gets into the lane. Okay? Now, let's rewind that and let's show what Kevin Durant does. Okay. Right?
Yeah.
Okay? Kevin Durant has the basketball.
You're Kevin Durant now.
Okay? So now, come, switch, okay?
Clear
now
out.
KD has the bigger player on him, and now he steps back and he shoots his 3. If it's a smaller player, KD takes him right here to the mid post, okay? And you'll see him turn around and shoot over little bitty me, okay? Now, what makes this so effective and what makes it so difficult to guard is once the offensive player, once the brilliant IQ, intelligent players, once they figure out the defense that you're playing, then that offensive player can dictate if he wants a bigger guy to guard him or if he wants a smaller player to guard him by simply running a screen and roll. So that's why back in the day, we could never play a Magic Johnson with the same type of defense. We could never play a Michael Jordan with the same kind of defense. We always used to say you got to give these guys a different look. So in the first quarter, we may hedge.
Right.
In the second quarter, we may trap.
Right.
In the third quarter, we may open and through. The last 5 minutes of the game, we might switch.
Right.
Right? But you never give that superstar player the same look. And what most superstars are seeing now in the NBA with switching defenses, and everybody switches, is that they get the same look for 4 quarters, and they're used to dominating that player that they want to dominate.
So, Zeke, with that being said, what do you perceive Steve Kerr to do? Because we know, I was watching the Eastern Conference Finals, watched the whole thing. LeBron James is going to seek out Steph Curry like he did with Terry Rozier.
Yes.
Are you trying to say that Steve Kerr should probably mix it up because LeBron James over the course of the game will figure out when you're trapping and when you're switching?
Yeah, he's got to mix it up. And what we saw Steve Kerr try to do.
Let's show him again.
Right? What we saw Steve Kerr try to do, I'm Steph Curry
You're Steph Curry.
in the last series, right?
Against James Harden.
This was James Harden.
This is James Harden.
Okay? What Steph Curry tried to do was body up.
Yeah. Body up.
To stay with his man so he wouldn't have to switch on James.
Right.
So that's one strategy we may see with Steph Curry not getting switched on LeBron James.
Okay.
But, you know, throughout this series, that's what you're going to see, and that's going to be the mismatch, how teams play, what Steph does in screen and roll, and who LeBron or KD gets to isolate on them.
Good stuff, guys. You telling me 3D went through that whole demo without shooting the basketball?
I know, man.
I don't buy it.
And he was a defender.
I know. I was playing defense, too.
I don't buy any of it. The Bay Bridge, part of the beautiful.
LeBron legend is growing. James, 2 seconds, 1 second for the win. LeBron James delivers.
James has 45. Truly remarkable performance once again.
Has anything ever surprised you with LeBron James?
3 seconds to go. Throws up the floater. Good night, Cleveland. That is for you.
James. Oh, impossible angle. LeBron James can do no wrong.
Rozier blocked from James. How many times have we seen this movie? Steps tries it again. Puts it in. As the shot clock expires. James now drives, fouled, shots good, and one. 46 points.
This is just one of the game's greatest players of all time.
Ready to go for Game 7. James drives, gets in the paint. Falling away is up and good. Rozier to the basket. Oh, blocked by James. He did it again. Here comes James in the open floor. James grabbed from behind. Count it. Goaltend and one. LeBron James and the Cavs do it again.
LeBron James leads the postseason in scoring and minutes so far. He has 7 40-point games, a pair of buzzer beaters, 3 triple-doubles, and an 8th straight visit to the finals already. It's a nice little spring portfolio, right?
He's that good, man.
But he made a point Wednesday of saying he will not be the only all-time great on the floor when the finals tip.